It was now or never. Night had fallen, and the team decides to lift the plane by building a road out to the Halifax. Truckloads of stone and gravel are brought in. The first attempt is a failure. The front end loaders are not capable of lifting the aircraft. The next day, more rock is added to the roadway. This time, a 50-ton crane is rolled out to the plane. Within an hour, it becomes apparent it's not going to budge. The plane is not moving. It's day 3, and we're watching as heavier equipment is brought in for the job. The sight is incredible. Massive Caterpillar tractors are rolled out to the edge of the Halifax on a roadway many are saying looks like a major highway. Hundreds of gallons of fuel and water are pumped from the wings to lighten the plane. As one of the big cats makes its way out to the aircraft, Dag and the crew stand on the wings, looking for any points of weakness. A mistake here could tear the plane completely apart. Finally, this is it. The moment had come. Halifax NA337 is about to perform its most important assignment since that night in 1945. And from depths unknown, the men would cry, "Raise high the glass of victory, for there are those who seldom speak, though honor is their destiny." I watched in silence as the great ship rose, its power and magnificence. We all were humbled at the sight, this great moment, time significant. For the magic spell had broken down, the Halifax was free, as it rose upon the distant shore, in awe for all to see. And great men died and great men lived, for freedom was the dream. And nevermore for all of time will this legend lie unseen. Today, the journey of Halifax NA337 has come full circle. At the RCAF Memorial Museum in Trenton, Ontario, Canada, the Halifax is being restored to its original state. With hard work and with enough money through financial contributions and sponsorships, this fine aircraft will be on display for future generations to see a part of history that must never be forgotten. And by the way, those nightmares that Thomas Waitman had experienced on so many nights since 1945, the day Halifax NA337 reached the shore of Lake Neosa, Thomas Waitman's nightmares ended. Perhaps the closing of a tragic event? Who knows? But what lies here today is a result of mankind's ability to span the bridges of invention and creativity. A result of human resourcefulness, determination, and something we all cherish in our lives called freedom.
Yes, but it's for our history, our past, the people that fought in that war, and I don't think we could ever do enough to show what they did and to keep that heritage, to keep that alive, so that the future generations can see this. It should be here forever. Once it's finished, it'll be inside, and it should be there forever.
It was the beginning. The aircraft had arrived in Trenton thanks to the recovery team and those dedicated men and women from the Canadian Armed Forces who had disassembled the plane in Norway and transported it back to Canada. It would be a monumental task to rebuild one of the most important aircraft from World War II. The process began in 1995 that would take 10 years to complete, an ambitious dream that could not be discouraged in any way, shape or form.
Front is going to be our biggest challenge, Jim. It's missing. Most of it is missing, right from the wireless operators and navigators, bomb aimers, gunners, forward gunners position, nose glass, It's all gone. Included in that missing stuff is all of the pilot's instrumentations, the panels, the equipment. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to start over. We start with a single longeron that'll come out and go out about another 12 feet, and we'll build up frames, we'll build up the cockpit, we'll build up the crew stations, put the seating in. And I would imagine that is going to take us a year to year and a half, and it'll be the most interesting, but it'll also be the most challenging part of the aircraft. Jim, this is our best. This is our best work. This aircraft, being a special operations executive aircraft, only had one turret, the tail turret with 4 guns. The mid-upper turret was removed. The space was covered with plywood to get the extra 5 knots. When we looked at them, as you can see, the old guns, they're badly corroded, they're badly damaged, they're badly rotted. We've taken each of the guns, we've stripped them, we've measured the components that were measurable. Those that weren't measurable, we went to Hamilton, borrowed another gun, copied them, converted them to computer code, and as the machines across the road here in the AMDU machine shop became available, we very simply plugged in the code, plugged in a block of aluminium or iron as it turns out for the barrel, and would you believe that each of 63 components is complete?
You'll probably remember, Jim, this wasn't here. None of it was here. This was badly damaged in the crash, and this is what our technicians have done to replace it. Some of this, such as here, is original, some of it is new. But this part was badly damaged, and as you see now, it's almost complete. All they have to do is put the skin back on it, and we have a complete tail section.
I think it's a wonderful achievement, and it's the only real, almost living reminder that so many of our boys served in that particular type of aircraft, which is so often been ignored by history.
I think it's wonderful just to have the opportunity to see all these people here today on a single cross. I think it's fantastic.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to meet those who are the heart and soul of this restoration project. They are Paul Botting, Project Supervisor, Dave Avlett, John Ashby, Guy Barcy, Jim Benham, Wally Bentley, Duncan Bank, Derek Brown, Glenn Brunton, Rod Clark, Wayne Cowan, Dee Curio, John Dawson.
This was a wonderful experience. It was nostalgic in the sense that I was here at Trenton in 1945 to 1949 because I stayed in the Air Force after the war. But to see that aircraft, and I had so many friends who flew Halifaxes, was a wonderful ceremony. It was touching because it brought back memories of Bomber Command. Even though I flew in Wellingtons, the old Wimpy, instead of the Halifax, it brought back a lot of memories from 1941 to 1944.
I was just saying to my friends over there that You really don't get what this represents unless you've watched the construction over the years. But to see this thing standing here, and it's hard to believe we used to fly in it. It's huge, and it was a great, well, it still is a great aircraft. Probably one of the better bombers of the Second World War. She was really well built. You felt safe in it, and as the pilots used to say, it climbed like a homesick angel, but it had the glide angle of a brick.
I thought that was extremely well done, well planned, well executed. I'm glad I came. It may be the last time I'll have the opportunity, but this has been wonderful, really.
I was with the crew in Norway in 1995. Jeff and Carl asked me to come over and film the project. They said come over for a week and we'll get this thing out. About 5 weeks later, I was still sitting on the beach. But the plane came out, and you're about to see it in a few minutes here. It's quite important what this is about to be, because a lot of young people don't know about what these men did, men and women. So there was one night there in 1995, we were sitting around the cabin, and I pulled out the guitar, and Carl was there, and Dag Amarun came in the room with the crew, and they started talking, so I listened very carefully to their words, and the stories they were telling me about how important this was. And I jumbled the words together, and I came up with this song that you see in the video, if anybody got one of those videos that we made. Nights of fire from the bridge top, there's a plane that's going down. Watch sky and hear the engines, Lake Miosa coming round. Raise a tail and raise a body, lifted from the depths of fate. For the men who died believing what they did was worth the wait. And they flew Halifaxes to the sky under the stars. Second and none, the time is coming, rolling thunder from afar. Strength and courage at the touchdown told me some men died that night. Only one to tell the story, how the people saved his life. Now the people rise in Norway, come together with the tide. From Canada they joined the battle, save the Halifax tonight. Raise a tail and raise a body, lifted from the depths of fate. For the men who died believing what they did was worth the wait. And they flew Halifaxes to the sky under the stars. Second to none, the time is coming, rolling thunder from afar. Raise a tail and raise a body, lifted from the depths of fate. For the men who died believing what they did was worth the wait. And they flew Halifaxes to the sky under the stars. Second to none, the time is coming. Second to none, the time is coming. Second to none, the time is coming, rolling thunder